Hello and welcome to the beta preview of DemographIQ.ai. I am the founder and lead programmer for DemographIQ.ai, Edward Sapp. My background is in real estate private equity, where I was a vice president of investments. My job entailed investing billions of dollars across the United States, and a big part of that was identifying which markets were the best places to invest our money. DemographIQ.ai is a platform that takes that to the next level and provides a solution where existing data platforms are lacking, in that you might not just be interested in one metric. Perhaps you're interested in judging geographies based on a multitude of metrics, and you want to do that all in one convenient location. So let's dive right into the screen that I have. This is the main brains of the demographic platform. The core concepts to understand here are metrics and components. Now, metrics are pieces of data from the Census Bureau, such as average unemployment rate and unemployment rate, that are just straight numbers for all these geographies. You've got states, tracts, block groups, blocks. There are estimates, and they are provided on an annual basis in the American Community Survey's 5-year estimates. So we pull those in and we apply weights and we group them into components. Now the components allow us to take metrics that we think are relevant to one another, and you can make any component you want. You can name them whatever you want. And so every component you add is then weighted together so that within each component you have metrics that sum to weights of 100%. And then amongst the components, you can add more components that also then all add up to a weight of 100%. And this allows you to create a degree of complex modeling where you can come up with the list of all the metrics you care about, group them together, apply weights to say, well, I care about average unemployment rate, for instance, a little bit more than the most recent unemployment rate, because I want to favor markets that have a history of low unemployment, because perhaps maybe an area just recently got low unemployment for a specific reason, but it might go right back up to high unemployment in a few years. But maybe a historical trend is helpful. So you can choose the years that you're interested up here. They don't have to be contiguous. They can be any years you want. And you can see on the map that we are now visualizing places that meet these blended criteria. And of course, if you want to add more components, you can do so here. Income being the next example, perhaps you want to have household income, the average income level in general, average income over a historical period, income growth rates. All of these things you can add in. You can really play with the metrics however you'd like. And then you might also be interested not just in understanding the metrics themselves, but the metrics of specific locations. So whereas this component functionality creates a map page that highlights all of the geographies that have the highest weighted average score based on your components, your weighting ranks, and then their ordered sorts. It'll highlight on a map where best suits your criteria, and it can drill down to the neighborhood block level, which is as small as you're really ever going to need. You can also flip that equation on its head and look at areas that you might already understand. Let's say you are a tenant rep broker and you have a restaurant client that has hundreds of locations in a specific part of the country. You could plot all of those locations on our platform, put them in here, and if you wanted to pull ring radius demographics, you can set your ring radius or add a custom distance. Or perhaps drive time is a bit more valid, and you can also plot that on a map to then get more of a demographic fingerprint of existing places that you know. So the platform not only lets you look at, hey, from a top-down level, here are the metrics that I'm interested in. Can you just tell me the places that meet those criteria the best? You can also flip it on its head and say, well, here are the places that I know. Can you tell me more about these specific demographic metrics for each location? And of course, with either of these pieces of information, you are more than free to download into a convenient Excel or CSV format to take it offline and play with the information yourself. If you like the way that our tables and maps are formatted, you can also share this with friends and colleagues. You can also copy the link and embed it on your own web page. So that's the bulk of the demographic platform. I'll quickly show you. We've also got the help center set up. You can go into our documentation to better understand all of the information, because our goal is to not just provide you with information, but to give you a full chain of provenance so you can understand where it came from and why we're manipulating it correctly. You should know where all of your information comes from, and that is an important point for us. Also, you can see a typical profile section, right? Name, email, settings, all that good stuff. And then, of course, log out, create account, sign in, create maps. And if you make maps and you want to go back to them in the past, you can look at them here. And you can also sort them using all the standard criteria that you're used to seeing, such as date created, modified, title, name of creator, and such. So thank you so much for tuning in. Next steps, I am taking this, which is a clickable prototype in Figma, so it's not a real website, and I'm personally coding it so that you will have access to this website, hopefully in the next few months, depending on how fast I am as a coder. And I've also already set up the backend, so the data is already there. I'm mostly just putting a face on it. If you are interested in this platform and you want to get to know more and you haven't already joined our beta list, go to demographic.ai. It's spelled just like that right there in the top left. And join our beta list. There's a sign-up form right at the front of the website. It'll give you an email with a link if you so choose to book a time on my calendar. I'd be more than happy to speak with you about this platform, hopes and dreams you might have. If you saw anything that didn't make sense, if you saw something you loved, or if you have a great idea for me, would love to help you out and get in touch. I'm really just in the phase where I want feedback and want to make sure I'm building something that's useful. So please do get in touch, and hopefully this was an informative overview to show you where I am at currently.